Just taking a dinner break. Lots of strangeness. High strangeness. But I need to see more before I start talking about it. The shit show, the pantomime, this fucking ridiculous farce, this corona, the crown, and COVID, the divine presence. All the world's leaders seem to have had this illness and recovered. As if they are sort of secretly telling the blind and the deaf that they are the anointed ones, that they are crowned and blessed by the divine presence. Do you understand the ritual? And the subconscious mind that can't see and is blind, because she's a whore, the people will just accept it. Oh, it won't surprise me if that when they beat the coronavirus, they'll say something like, "It is finished." Fuck me, you can't make this stuff up. But they are. Now, the problem, right, the enlightenment, the enlightened mind. Then you have knowledge of good and evil. But you need to make a choice. Now, if you make a choice for good, then you're wise. But if you make a choice to go along mindlessly, not chewing the cud, not really thinking, to go along with what's going to be offered, that would be evil. Now, good is here. Evil's down there. Shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That went all over the world. There's a bit of subliminal programming. Who wants to be a millionaire? Well, everybody. Yeah? What if the Vatican, because all money flows to the Vatican one way or another, they made an announcement a few years ago saying, oh, it looks like Jesus is not coming back. Okay? So, having fooled the people, thinking that the people think that Jesus is outside of them, they're going to step in and pretend to be human saviors and to give you everything that you've ever desired. Now, what promotes desire? Well, lack. So they've kept society in a permanent state of lack. You lack this, you lack that. You need the new version of this. Your old version doesn't satisfy you anymore. Now I'm speaking about the deaf and blind. You've seen them all queuing up for the latest iPhone or the latest Windows software from William Gates. Bill Gates. I am Gates. The gates of heaven. The Windows. Fucking hell. It's just so fucking stupid. Really. The world is a stage. It's a ridiculous script. So the Vatican will release the truth, their version of the truth, of course. And we've been saving all the money. And we've kept it in a trust for you. And here it is. Here's your check. But there will always be a caveat. All of the world's leaders are related in one way or another. All of the American presidents, including fucking Donald Trump, the so-called last Trump of God. Give me a fucking break. Oh yeah, but the election was corrupt and they've got rid of him and he was going to change everything. He was working for God. No, that's just the sideshow. Don't be distracted by the nonsense. Now, all of them are related, with the exception of one. I forget who it is. So you can research this yourself. I encourage you to do it. Go on Google and look it up. All the American presidents are related, and they're all related to the British royal family. Oh, how about that? Sounds like fucking bloodlines, doesn't it? Here's what's happened. If you can swallow this, but I'll put it in your head anyway, and then you can chew it. They've hidden knowledge. They've hidden it in religious scriptures. And, well, the religious scriptures were originally not religious. It just told you how things are. But they've corrupted it and externalized everything. So people won't look within. But they know this. So when they die, they get erased. So the family keeps the bloodline going, and they have a new child. And then they educate the child and tell them what their mission is and what the great work is. And their great work is to build themselves a one world empire government where they are at the top and you're a slave. You're a fucking commodity. They own you. That's why when you're born, you know, they, apart from the fact they've hanged you upside down, they give you a social security number because you're cattle. And then they educate you, and then you're used in their system to build a Babylonian system. It's a beast system. So what is the beast? Well, the beast is the ego that is suffering the illusion of separation. Now, these people have been doing this for millennia. Millennia. But the balance is tipping because more and more people are waking up to the lies throughout history. So there's a war going on to suppress information, to censor everything. And censorship starts in your head when you say something like, oh, I can't say that. That'll upset people. There you go. Yeah, you've just censored yourself. And then you've got the hate crime laws. So if I was to say church, you know, go outside a Christian church or an Islamic church or a fucking synagogue and say you're worshipping death, it's a death cult, I could get arrested and go to jail. Okay? So don't bother. Having walked down that road, having been chased out of churches in Germany a couple of times. But that's what they've done. And they worship the serpent. They worship the Kundalini, the enlightenment. And they have a choice. And they've chosen to go with evil. And declare themselves to be gods. But not real gods. They're just fake. So, in other words, they have authority. And that makes them a god. Being a god isn't about authority. Being a god is about truth, giving, and not expecting anything in return other than perhaps a little visit. Meditation people, just to say hello. Now, all they do is wink. They wink at God and stick out their tongues. This goes back to the pharaonic days, the pharaohs. Isn't it funny that Barack Obama is a spitting image of Akhenaten? He was one of the pharaohs, and Akhenaten was responsible for bringing in the monotheistic dynasty. In other words, getting rid of all the old gods and having one god. Strange that. So he invented monotheism to control the populace. And the pyramids were a showcase for his power, because he used knowledge that was revealed to him to prop himself up, to put himself on a pedestal. And the slaves all worship him. That information has been handed down for centuries, for millennia. And today people look at buildings. Oh, the architecture, it's got the Fibonacci in it. So fucking what? It's a copy of what's inside you. People rushing the Senate, storming the Senate. The Senate is where all the information is, you know, it's where all the decisions are made. It's your brain. And if you look at the dome, it's a model of the Vatican. And the dome, it's got 3 tiers: reptilian, limbic, neo. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, supposed to be symbolic of higher consciousness. Fucking hell, give me a break. And then you've got the left and right, the divide, the enmity between the male and female. It's all reflected inside the Senate, the Parliament, the Reichstag. It's all over the world. And they've built these buildings, these fucking Babylonians, and they've infected everyone else with their shit. They've put this thing in your head. And at the same time, they'll tell you you're free. You're free, but all you have to do is take this. And they'll be smiling at you and telling you that everything's going to be good and they're going to build back better. Listen, when you meditate and you're cleaning your house, so draining the swamp, getting all the shit out your lymphatic system, get the endocrine system moving, get that energy moving, get it? Then you storm Capitol Hill. Okay? Take it over. Start doing things for yourself. But you're being led by higher. But don't be fooled by the mind. The Apostle Paul. Because when you become this enabled and you become this, you become like, you're not thinking inside the box anymore. You're freed from that. It's really easy to manipulate people. It's really easy to manipulate situations. And you've got to be really careful, because if you're impeding somebody else's free will, then you're turning them into your slaves. That ain't fucking good. So people have to decide for themselves. You can't take money off them. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Simon Peter. In ancient Hebrew, it's Shimon Kephesh. Shimon means he who listens, and Kephesh is the stone. Jesus said, I will build my church on that stone, on a person who listens. Now, but Paul robbed Peter. He even says in the scriptures, I robbed from those churches, taking from the people. I see videos of people that talk about the sacred secretion. You know, Kelly Marie Kerr's one, and she sells books and things. And she, you know, I've spoken to her, and she said, "Oh yeah, but the money goes back into producing more books, and these books cost money." And I was like, "Why don't you just make a PDF and do it for free?" If you start mixing money with this kind of thing, you're on a fucking slippery slope. That's what's happened. Whether you can accept that or not is of no concern to me. They get initiated into their mystery school. They get taught all sorts of nonsense. They start worshipping the stars and the planets. Remember the Book of Thomas? The first few sayings? Do not worship the heavens above, because the birds precede you. Get it? It's all inside you. Don't be distracted by things like astrology. That's divination. Using a smartphone is divination. It's a tool. You rule it. Don't let it rule you. Take a sabbatical. Turn the fucking thing off. Turn technology off for a week. And you might find that you'll really miss it. And if you really miss something, then there's a problem there, isn't there? Addiction comes in many shapes, sizes, forms. Television, YouTube. I'm slowly acclimatizing myself to watching TV within. I'm seeing things, very interesting things. I'm not going to allude to it just yet. Although I did tell you, John. But it's not because I'm keeping a secret. It's because I want it to sit before I start talking about it. I want to understand it implicitly. Now, my mind's a bit slow. It's always playing catch up. Which is a good thing, actually, because it gives me time to chew the cud. Unless I rush off and do something foolish. Learn to watch your own show within. And things, you'll be shown stuff. It takes time. It's like people reading the book. Oh yeah, I got to the genealogies where it starts talking about the names, then I lost interest. Just fight through that. You learnt to read and write, that took a long time. Fight through that. You learnt to walk, that took some effort. You fought through that. But you'll happily sit down and play, what's that stupid fucking game called? Call of Duty for 13 hours? Come on, man. Or you'll sit down and watch YouTube. You don't even know how long you're going to sit down for. I'm going to watch it for an hour, 3 hours later. Apply the same effort, or complete lack of effort, to meditation. You're just watching. You'll start to see. Now's the time to start seeing and hearing. Right now. Not next week or tomorrow. Right now. Seek first the kingdom of God. It will show you things. When you start to see things, your mind will catch up, then you'll start to understand. It's a good show. It's fucking interesting. And then the distractions of the world are just that, distractions. They're not attractions, they are distractions. Take care, folks.